Hey Cincy family, my name is Amber Turner and I'm a Superstar Director from Texas. I am here to talk to you guys today about setting boundaries with your team. So whether you have a team right now or not, it's really important to go ahead and get this information kind of in your arsenal so that you're ready to go when you do have a team. If your team is just starting, if your team is exploding, if your team is huge, I personally still need these reminders on a regular basis because it's very easy to get caught up in answering all of your team's questions and providing them with everything that they need without really realizing that that's not our job. Our job is to be a support system for them, but we're still running our own business as well, and we're still raising families and we're still living lives, and so we can not run a successful business, raise a successful family, be a successful person personally and in business if we're constantly glued to our phones. Who's with me on that? So I love my team. In fact, you see my team name back there. I'm in my home office. My team name is Can Do Consultants, and they are fantastic. We are fantastic. Our motto is we rise by lifting others. So I love them. I would absolutely not be where I am today without them. But I've also worked really hard on helping them with their businesses without driving myself into the ground. And in turn, that helps them be empowered as consultants and also be empowered as current leaders and future leaders. Because if they see me replying to messages instantly or knowing all the answers or doing all the things, then they're going to think one of two things. Either one, I could never do what she does, or two, I don't ever want to do what she does. And that is absolutely not the goal, right? So I want to empower them as consultants. I want to empower them as future leaders. And honestly, I want to leave them with the feeling of thinking I can do what she does, but I can do it better, right? So your goal as a leader, as a future leader, is to make what you do so simple and so seamless that someone would not be afraid to jump into that role, to strive for that title, to strive for that role, and so that someone could think, hey, I could even do that better than what she does. So I'm going to hit you guys with a few of my tips. So I hope you have your notebooks ready. I hope you have your pen ready. If you're listening to this on the go, then as soon as you get to a safe place and you can jot down some ideas, I would absolutely love for you guys to do that. So here we go. I wrote down just a few of my tips that have helped me maintain my sanity and help my team be run more efficiently. Okay, number one, probably most of you have a group page on Facebook. Do you have a group page for your team on Facebook? So when you go to my group page on Facebook, the first thing you're going to see is a pinned post that kind of lays everything out. So the most important thing in that post, of course, is our group rules, like positive vibes only. We don't sell stuff on here, whatever, no negativity. Negativity will be deleted. But the most important thing is the 24-hour rule. So I tell my team, I am always here for you. You can reach out to me anytime, but I can only promise you that I will reply to you within 24 hours. If it's been longer than 24 hours, hit me up again because I might have forgotten because I'm human, right? Or because your message might have got buried so deep it never got read. So I will get back with you within 24 hours, but if not, please hit me up again. That is in the pinned post to my group page, and I also reiterate it all the time. So when I go live to my team, when I'm talking to my team, when I'm welcoming new consultants, things like that, I always let them know the 24-hour rule. So write that down, 24-hour rule. It will help you and it will help them. Okay, so speaking of the 24-hour rule, I have worked really systematically on moving my business over to Messenger. I try very hard to save texts for personal, Messenger for business. Of course, that's not a hard and fast rule because not everyone is on Messenger, right? Not everyone is on Facebook, but I've tried really hard to move my business over to Messenger rather than texting because I actually have my Messenger notifications completely turned off. It is silenced. Also, when I open that folder on my phone, there is no red number that tells me I have 14 unread messages. I have to actually open the app to know that anyone has messaged me. That has given me so much mental space, so much clarity, so much sanity just by moving my business over to Messenger, silencing Messenger, and turning off notifications. So write that down as tip number 2. Okay, tip number 3. We've talked about my 24-hour rule. We've talked about me moving over to Messenger. Neither of those have any effect if you don't establish office hours. I will never forget when my business started picking up. I was a full-time elementary teacher. We have 2 daughters. At the time, they were very young, and I loved my Scentsy business so much that anytime I wasn't at work or being with the kids, dealing with the kids, whatever, I was working Scentsy. I loved it so much. I was on my phone. I was sorting orders. I was whatever. I was doing anything Scentsy because I loved it so much. But my husband came to me and he said that he resented Scentsy because it was taking away me from the family. It was taking so much of my time because there were no office hours. There were no parameters established. There were no boundaries set. So we sat down and we wrote out on paper office hours and we hung them on. Now I am blessed to have a spare bedroom in my home that I can use as my office. We hung them on the door of this spare bedroom. So even if you don't have an office, like, it's okay. Hang them on your refrigerator, text them to your husband, something. But if that is something that's causing a problem in your business, is that your husband or whatever significant other or your kids or friends or anybody starts to be jealous of the time you spend on Scentsy, you have got to write down those office hours. Now, I thought it was the silliest thing because this wasn't a real job, right? Like, teaching was my real job. This was just my hobby. And why should I have to establish hours for my hobby, right? People do what they want to do when they want to do it. But when I established those office hours, the resentment went away. And honestly, my business grew even more because I was taking better care of it because I only had a certain amount of time to spend on it. I only had certain hours that I was committed to it. It helped me mentally, emotionally so much to know right now is Scentsy time. This is my focus. Right now is not Scentsy time. My family is my focus. My friends are my focus. Myself is my focus. My house is my focus. Whatever. It really, really helped to have that break in my mind. So I highly encourage you to write down office hours and share them with your significant others. So that's the next tip. Write that down. Okay, so I'm looking at my list here. Okay, so another thing that I have done to take the pressure off of me as far as coaching calls. So I call them connection calls. I absolutely offer to my whole entire group, whoever wants it, connection calls. I let them know connection calls, coaching calls are going to be 20 minutes. They're just a quick little phone chat, 20 minutes about your business. I give them the time slots that work for me, the ones that are most convenient for me to set aside 20 minutes to give this team my undivided attention. If none of those times work for them, then we go back and forth, right? And we try to find a time that will work for them and me. But I absolutely start with offering what is best for me, especially as I'm juggling, more and more awesome consultants. So that's step 1, is establish a time that's good for you, but work with them. And step 2 is they call me. So I carry on about my day, carry on about my business. When they call me, I stop, give them my undivided attention, 20 minutes, limit it at that. And I will teach you a little trick. If your coaching calls tend to go over, which mine used to, tell them this: I'm so sorry that I've taken up so much of your time. I know that we're already over our 20 minutes. I'm going to let you go. I know your time is precious, and I'll send you a follow-up message in the next day or 2. And that follow-up message is just going to be, what do you want to work on between now and then? Send me 2 to 3 things so I can write them down. Go from there. Now, how many times has it happened to y'all that you set up a coaching call, the person is supposed to call you and they don't? It happens to me all the time, and it's fine, right? Because people are leading lives, busy lives. I do not let it ruffle my feathers. I just wait a few hours, sometimes until the next day, and I just send them a quick message that says, hey, did I miss your call today? Because sometimes I've been in a dead zone when they've called or my phone's been acting wonky. So I want to give them the benefit of a doubt that maybe they did try to call me and the call just didn't go through. Most of the time it's, oh, I forgot, and it's fine. And we set up another call. So that is a way to reclaim some of your time, to set some boundaries with your team. You're not calling them, they're calling you. The responsibility is on them. The time is convenient for you. And it makes connection calls a lot less scary. Okay, moving on. So I want to have my constant goal is to empower the consultants in my downline. I don't want them relying on me for everything. So when I do tell them the 24-hour rule, go back up to where you wrote 24-hour rule down and write down these little notes right here. I let them know I will get back to you within 24 hours, but in the meantime, search your workstation and post to the group page, because 9 times out of 10, they will find their answer while they're waiting on you. Do I always make them wait 24 hours? Absolutely not. Sometimes they message me and I'm sitting on the couch watching TV and I'm like, hey, I got this. But sometimes, most of the time, live, right? So I do make it very clear. Search the workstation, post to the group page, and let me know if you find your answer before I get back with you. So speaking on that, the searching the workstation and searching the group page, I tell them a lot of times when they message me and ask me a question, oh, there's a great post on the group page. Here, let me tag you in it real quick and let me know if that works or not. So that way I'm not just always sending them a video. I'm not just always telling them, hey, go find your own answer. I'm like, hey, I know where the answer is. I'm going to tag you in it. And then I'm not leaving them hanging, right? I'm saying, let me know if that helps or not. So that serves 2 purposes. Actually 3. 1, it helps them find the information on their own, right? It's part me, it's part them, because they're still going to have to go find the tag. 2, it's going to show them, oh my gosh, it was there. Like, I know we miss things on Facebook all the time, but like, if it was there, I wonder what else is there. And it might kind of wean them off of you a little bit, to always expecting the answer to be spoon fed to them, to, wow, if this was on the group page, what else is on the group page? Here, let me scroll a little bit. And they're usually going to find even more stuff. You want to teach them how to fish. The 3rd thing is one of my favorites, and you know how group pages work. When something gets commented on, it bumps that post to the top of the page. So it might be a post you made months ago, a year ago, more than that even. And now all of a sudden it's bumped to the top of the page, and whatever it is, now everyone's talking about it. So I absolutely love doing that, going and tagging them and letting them know, hey, I tagged you. Let me know if that helps or not. Okay, another thing that I love to do is ask my consultants in my downline to share out. So I love seeing when people are successful with something, because I have a certain way of working my business. It's not how everyone works their business. There are so many other ways to work this business, and I love seeing them be so successful. So when I see them doing something awesome, I might see it on their social media. They might message me, hey, I just did this and it worked. Or I might run a report and their PRV was through the roof last month, or it had greatly improved from the previous month. They might have sponsored their first person. They might have promoted, all the things. You want to be looking for shooting stars, sensational start, newly certifieds, anything that catches your attention. Reach out to that consultant and congratulate them and ask them how they did it, and really have a good conversation with them back and forth for a bit, because you also truly need to be building relationships in this business. You have to not be so transactional mindseted that you're always looking at numbers, but that you're looking at people for who they are, for people, right? So get that conversation going with them, learn more about them through it, and then ask them to share out. Say, I would love if you shared on our group page how you did X, Y, and Z. There are so many consultants that can learn from you, because your goal as a leader is to shift that group page, and honestly, to shift anything that you do in your business from the focus being on you all the time to the focus being on others. They need to see the rock stars on your team. They need to see that you're not the only one who has the potential to rise to the top, right? There are other people that are doing amazing things that can pour into them as well. And it's going to help them build more relationships with each other And magic will be going on behind your back without you even knowing that these consultants are talking to each other and sharing ideas and building relationships, messaging each other, whatever. That's where the magic really, really, really happens. So shift the culture of your team to where the focus is not always on you, but it's on other people who are on your team that are doing amazing things. Okay, this is a tip that I learned very recently from an amazing author. Her name is Mary Christensen. If you have not read her books, please write her name down. Mary Christensen. She does amazing books about direct selling. So she was presenting, I was listening. She said one thing that absolutely changed, I'm going to say it changed my life, because I am a people pleaser. On the Enneagram scale, I am a hard 2 wing 3. And those of you that know Enneagram know that means I'm a softie. So I like to say yes. I don't like to say no. Actually, I like to say no because I like to not be tied down to all these things, but I don't enjoy the feeling of saying no. So she said, when someone asks you, like, hey, can I call you? Or maybe they just call you and you're busy, you're doing life, you're doing things, you're like, this is really not a good time for a phone call, or this is really not a good time to go have lunch or coffee or breakfast or ice cream or whatever with this person. This is really not a great time for a one-on-one. You need to schedule it, right? So don't tell them why you can't. You don't have to. Don't give them an excuse or a real reason as to why you can't. You don't have to. All you have to say is, I can't today, but how about tomorrow? Or I can't this week, but how about next week? That sets boundaries. That lets people know she's not always available, because you're not. You're not. You're juggling so many things. You can't just spur of the moment take a coaching call. You need to schedule those things. Sometimes you can spur of the moment run out and meet a friend for coffee, but usually you can't. You have to schedule those things. You don't have to give them a reason why. You don't have to say, well, this week is so busy. My kid has this and that. I've got this and that scheduled. I've got an order that just came in that I really need to sort. You don't have to tell them your whole life story. Keep it very simple and say, I can't today, but how about next week? And schedule something. Life changing. Okay, I think this is my last tip. My last tip, listen, is when you go on vacation. You deserve a vacation from your Scentsy business, just like you deserve a vacation from a full-time job, okay? So we travel a lot. A lot of the times when we travel, I'm still a hybrid of working and taking vacation. But 1 week a year, we travel with our kids, and I don't work. I need it. You need it. My family needs it. You can't work 365 days a year. So these are some things that I do so that my team knows I'm not reachable right now, okay? I let them know, hey, I'm traveling with my family. Like, we're about to go away for a week. This is our family vacation. I will be off the grid. Sometimes I go completely off the grid. Sometimes I'll be real, I'm still on my phone. So I let them know, I might reply to your message, but I probably won't, because I really need to go make these precious memories with my family. So, make a post to the group page, let people know these are the ways to find your answers. And then I put leaders in charge of my group page, because I can't have my group page die. I still need things going on. I still need interaction happening, right? So my leaders, I ask for volunteers. Hey, who wants to act as a superstar director this week? If you're a director, star director, lead star, whatever, superstar, who wants to act as me this week and post inspirational tips to the group page, help answer questions, help delete negativity, let them know if something new is posted to the news tab. It's so empowering for your leaders, because then they see what you do on the daily is not so big, hairy, and scary. And it's also incredibly powerful to your downline, because they're seeing, hey, she's a leader, she's doing great in this business, and she can drop off the grid for a week and it still rolls without her. It's very, very important for you to truly take that time off, because you need to refuel. So guys, in conclusion, definitely set boundaries with your team. You are their upline. You are there to support them. You are there to be their biggest cheerleader, but you are not there to answer questions that they can find on their own. Help them search the workstation, help them utilize your group page, help them utilize each other. Set your boundaries, establish a 24-hour rule if that works for you. Definitely set those office hours. Definitely shift the culture of your team to be not about you. There are some people on my team who know more than I do, and I am not making that up. They're just book smart, savvy like that. They know more of the rules. They know more of the ins and outs. I tell people all the time, I don't know all the answers. Sometimes you're going to ask me something and I am going to have to go research it. So shift the culture to be not all about you. So I'm going to wrap this up, and I want to ask you guys two things. What is one idea, just pick one, that you want to do? You want to try to work on establishing those boundaries with your team. Write it down right now. Or if you're listening while you're driving, like, write it down as soon as you get to a safe place. One idea. And then the second final question I have for you is, what are you going to need to put this into place? What are you going to need? And write that down, because you will be filled with so many ideas through these trainings. Narrow it down, commit yourself to trying one thing, and really, really give it your best shot, and see if it works for you or not. Thank you guys so much for listening to me today. I hope that you gained something from it. I promise you, if I can do this, anyone can do it. And don't drive yourself into the ground. Make your downline want your role, because it really, really, really is totally worth it. Have a great day, you guys. Thanks. Bye.